This lobby has many people in it. Does someone need to, like, drop in order to get folks in? Django just got in here. Okay. Yeah, so probably. Okay, so then Django jumps down and then Pop-Tart can come back in. Alright. I'm happy to say that even though I got a filling this afternoon, I have in the last like 10 minutes regained full use of my mouth. I will be right back real quick.
The weak fear the shadows.
Fear controls them. So I go.
Welcome to Titan Esports Divinity League. This is opening night. We have TFF Aftershock versus Lower Class Gaming. I am Shot Duck, and I'm here with Django.
Hey guys, it's good to be back. It felt like forever, but it's only been a little bit. We're getting back into the Divinity League. We had Conqueror last night. That went swimmingly. I hope we get games just like those. I don't know if you got a chance to tune in, Shot Duck, but if we get games like last night, you're going to be talking more than I am.
Very cool. I'm excited.
We are using our Titan Esports drafting tool, which has been so lovely. It worked perfectly last night, and hopefully it continues up, but we're going to be getting into draft right about now. Should be coming up any second. TFF Aftershock versus Lower Class Gaming, and if you know these two teams, well, you might not know the two teams themselves, but you will recognize a lot of the players on the roster. Season 10 Survivor, Diablo, BTG, and IQ of a Coconut, as well as Pop-Tart Deluxe for TFF Aftershock. And Lower Class Gaming have Guragara Simp, more commonly known as Violet Rain in my days, Batman, Fubuki Simp, Muddy, and Eastside Luke. So a lot of recognizable names, rather, and already Batman's getting some bans thrown at him. That's always a good meme. Love to see that happen.
Yep, the Malzahar ban is also not surprising for being Voltzi's most picked champion in solo queue.
Yep, not at all. Yep. I'm gonna say screw professionality. Shot Duck, make sure you have OBS Ninja muted, because Twitch chat is saying you have a bit of an echo.
Okay.
There we go. Hopefully that's all fixed up. Getting back into it. It's week 1. We can be a little bit unprofessional. Nunu, Malzahar, Kaisa are the blue side bands. Ezreal, Kayn, and Xerath going to be taken off by red side. And as usual, a lot of target bans. Not going to see too many... I saw that picture come up, and I couldn't tell if it was Morgana or Kayle for a second, but Morgana up in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, that splash art's a bit confusing.
Slightly, but it's fantastic art, so I'm down with it. Now I'm really curious because Morgana, in my opinion, has really not fallen off as a jungler. Just people seem to not want to pick her up anymore. Yes, she is not like the premier AP jungler. I think that spot sits with Diana right now, but I don't think she's as bad as people make her out to be.
I think that she just kind of rotated out of the meta where she was primarily a power farmer. And since that got nerfed, she loses to a lot of the early skirmish junglers like the Xin Zhaos, the Dianas, the Viegos that are more common these days.
I think the jungle meta is in a very interesting position because I think there's so many new and unique champions. We're not like rotating through the same set of junglers we have been for the past 3 years. So I've noticed some junglers are very slow to pick up new junglers, and some junglers have been really hitting the normals, or if they're crazy, a bit ranked with the new picks and learning them as soon as possible. Batman not picking his jungler in the first 3 is a sight to see. It is, again, a meme that this guy gets bans thrown towards him, so we'll see if they TFF decide to pinch the jungle pool anymore. But look at top lane
Syndra. The Syndra is for sure. Voltzy sees it open and he goes for it every time. It's definitely his strongest pick.
Most certainly. And we are on 11.15, so those mana costs did just get nerfed a tad bit, which is a big help to Syndra, who wasn't really lacking in the damage department, just got outlaned by a lot of the current champions. A lot of people like to think of Syndra as that stat stick of the mid lane, and with her mana cost coming down, that's a very nice champion. And Zac on R4. Not often does Batman get to play this champion. There's so many things like the Poppy, different things that just knock him out of his ultimate, or his slingshot rather. He doesn't like playing it into any of that, but he's going to go ahead and pick it up this one. Got a lot of comfort picks coming in from lower class gaming. Meanwhile, TFF are going to pick up that newly reverted Tahm Kench, and that looks to be going to the top side with the Viego into the jungle, has to be my guess.
Yeah, that looks like Tahm Kench top, Viego jungle, Corki mid, Morgana Ashe bot.
Gwen made it the whole way through the draft, and R5 lower class are going to be able to pick that up. This is Gwen and Viego is something that we commonly see, but the top lane matchup should be the Kench versus Gwen, and that's something that I'm not very familiar with. I know Tahm Kench does not have a lot of bad matchups currently, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of healing, but Gwen has a lot more damage, and I feel like she brings a lot more to the table when the game gets really going.
Most certainly, the Kench did take the Ignite, as you see on the load-in screen, and now into the game a bit. Meanwhile, the Gwen that we see that taking Ignite all the time in pro play has not opted for that. So that's something I'm really curious to see. If that kind of swings the matchup, Goragar not having that summoner spell for the all-ins, rather having the flash, that's a very interesting take, and I'm going to see how it works. Double Ignites on the bot side, a cleanse for the Caitlyn. No cleanse on the Ashe against Caitlyn. Nautilus can be kind of scary, but she does have the Black Shield to rely on.
Yeah, she's relying on the Morgana for safety down there. And it looks like both teams are setting up in a 5-point, playing it safe for this first match. No one wants to do anything crazy.
Absolutely not, and I'm going to make sure we're all set up again because still figuring out this whole Titan draft, making sure that we have enough time in between with the load screen and everything. We're a little bit short on time this time, so if I could just ask our producer and Shotduck you as well to just speed up and go the whole way up to the front, and we will sync up that way since we did not have time to cut to a break here.
Oh, yeah.
I went live with the stream.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, just speed up the whole way. That way we're synced. the stream, because I think you're a little bit behind on the stream. What am I saying? There's a delay. First time back in a while, man. I'm so used to being the one streaming just for practice casts, and now here we are. I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to be opposite side. Double red buff start here for both of these junglers. Batman going to clear down into the bot side. Is going to be Diablo taking that Viego up into the top side, maybe hoping to swing the Tahm Kench Gwen matchup. The Ignite definitely means that Survivor wants to play it aggressive, but I feel like bot and top lane can both be swung very, very hard. Ash Morgana doesn't lose to Kate Nollis as hard as other lanes do, but currently the Kate Not have the push, as well as the Tahm Kench in the bot. So it looks like both junglers are going to be pathing towards their pushing sides, and Batman actually skipped his Raptors, which is a little bit odd. And Diablo does have... Oh, wait, they're not
Batman. What?
The trench line in without getting level 2 first was a little bit questionable, but still gets a decent trade.
Yeah, Batman going for a more aggressive, quick level 3 jungle start instead of doing the full clear.
I think that's really odd. I say it's odd. It would be fine if Muddy and East Side Luke, let Coconut push in, but they have been the one just spamming Piltover Peacemakers on the wave, so it's going to be harder now for Batman to get in. He's not going to have a clean gank opportunity. He won't have levels in his slingshot yet, but he's still looking for it.
He's coming in. Ash gets hooked, flashes out from the slingshot. Morgana gets the binding. And Batman looks like he's going to be able to walk away from that.
Okay, so a bit of a misclick on the Black Shield means that Coconut does have to blow the flash, and Pop-Tart Deluxe threw down the Ignite to grab Batman's flash out of it. Honestly, not a bad trade for the side of TFF Aftershock. As long as the bot lane can absorb this pressure, you can see the Viego's going to look to get something done mid.
Corky's got to be careful if he contributes, but Viego is going in with the stun and is walking her down. And they all just walk away.
Yeah, not too much more. Diablo would have loved to chase that down, but Eastside Luke was missing from the bot lane, so they assumed he was roaming up, and good call there. Scuttle Crabs are going to be traded, and the Diablo is going to be a bit ahead on the tempo as he's cleared one more camp than Batman at this point in time, as Batman finished his Raptors very quickly. He was like 2 camps, actually. Misspoke, as he did full clear to Batman's 3 camps. So Diablo with a small lead for the time that Batman invested into bot lane, but it is Muddy with a very, very small CS lead here in the bot lane. Actually, if Coconut picks up all these minions, they're going to be in the lead. So TFF Aftershock with small leads here in the beginning. Mid is actually the biggest CS lead, just from Corky being Corky and BTG being BTG.
Yeah, Corky's been playing a bit more safe because Voltzi's been getting good trades off on the Syndra, keeping him low.
Does have the teleport on the Corky, but got the first back off without having to expend it, and still with a CS lead. So all things considered, BTG is looking pretty fine here in the mid lane. Yep. Deluxe taking a lot of poke here in the bottom lane. Went for the Comet, not the defensive Guardian, where she would have access to Revitalize, so has to play that a bit more careful. Meanwhile, Muddy and Luke do have the biscuits to keep on trading and using their resources aggressively. Seems like Red Side has a bit of tempo advantage on the map right now, and I'm curious if Batman is going to use this to take a dragon. It could be a good thing for his team, but he is very far behind in EXP right now, still sitting on the level 3. Should be close to 4, but Diablo's halfway, more than halfway to 5, in fact. So the jungle lead is just going to continue growing unless Batman can find an angle back into this game.
It's definitely an interesting difference since they've both been similar on how many ganks they've gotten off. Oh, and Syndra is under tower with the level 6, but she gets stunned out of the ult, and Viego gets the first blood, and Tahm Kench gets the solo kill in top on Gwen.
That is a huge 2 kills for TFF Aftershock. Season 10 Survivor with the level 6 advantage. I believe I'm not even sure how he got that 6th advantage, but even through the flash being expended through Gorogard just runs him down, and then a bit of an overextension out of Fubuki Simp trying to be aggressive with his level 6, but it is Diablo who counters and even gets the kill for it. So now this Viego, extraordinarily ahead in the matchup, Season 10 Survivor, looking to swing the top lane his way, and it's Muddy and Luke on the bottom side of the map that have etched out a CS lead, but that's the only lead that lower class gaming have for the moment.
If Coconut cleans up this minion wave, it's not going to be a gigantic lead, but it's definitely a solid one. And Muddy is who I'm looking at to really carry this LCG team from past experience with the guy.
Yeah, I think given the picks here, they've picked a little bit for top and bot lane, with Batman just kind of roam around the map and do Batman things, play for his team rather than playing for himself. But kind of not getting a lot out of that first gank really hurt Batman. Again, Muddy just spamming those Piltover Peacemakers on the wave in the early game just made Batman have to commit so much further for the gank. If that didn't happen, maybe the game looks a little bit differently. But Fubuki's still getting good trades here in the mid lane, has the Electrocute, has the Ignite, still has the options to be aggressive. Muddy with a late cleanse and a flash. That's double summoners out of the Caitlyn. Not what you want to see out of the man who needs to be stepping up right now.
And TFF did take that first Cloud Drake, which doesn't do much on its own. Oh. And Syndra gets the kill on Corki, but Viego comes in with the cleanup.
Trade kill favors TFF just because there is an assist, and Fubuki did use the Ignite for it, so Batman now looking to make a little bit up here.
Oh, that's a good shutdown with the Zac ult.
Big damage. That helps swing the gold lead, but there's fighting everywhere.
Tom Kench going in, gets the ult off on Gwen, pulls her back.
Bro, that damage.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. Gwen's trying to kite with the slow from the ult, but Tom is running her down. Oh, and there's the new W.
Oh,
oof. Tom Kench just lands everything.
The skirmishes are going in favor of TFF Aftershock, and they're all happening around the top side, which is not what lower class gaming want right now. The Gwen maybe had a chance in the top camp matchup in isolation. I'm not sure how that one goes. The Syndra got behind just due to an early gank, and Muddy's the only one ahead, and he's just not being involved in the action around the map right now. And that is not favoring lower class. They got 3 minutes for an Infernal Drake. Maybe they can look to etch out their bot lane lead to help with that. But Caitlyn hasn't even been onto these tower plates. 9.5 minutes into the game, and all 5 plates still stand. Steps up to the tower now. Gonna take the first one of that, but not what you normally see out of the Caitlyn. This champion usually has this really oppressive lane phase followed by a bit of a dip in the mid game, and you try and counteract that dip by getting a ton of gold on her using this long range here in the early game. Pop-Tart might be found out. Level 5 support takes a lot of damage.
That's a good hook after the Nautilus ult pops the black shield, and Morgana flashes away.
That was actually a really nice hook out of Luke to time it to so he could still travel through the route, and for his ultimate to pop the black shield. Really nice timing out of the Nautilus there. Didn't lead to a kill, no ace in the hole. Not even that would have killed at that HP, however, but it's nice to see lower class still looking for something. Batman, level 7 now to Diablo, checking on the EXP real quick. And he's actually nearly caught up. Diablo's about 1 camp up in experience, and so Batman's done a really good job at stabilizing the early deficit that he was in. Now he just needs to find a way to give that over to his team, and actually probably a lot of that experience came from the shutdown kill that he received on Diablo.
Yeah, for sure. That saved Batman's life in this early game, getting the big shutdown gold in mid and XP with it.
Things slowing down for the moment, but we do have that Infernal in 1:20, meaning we have Ocean or Mountain Drake on the Rift, and that is very incredibly powerful. So you know TFF Aftershock are going to want to fight to get that stack rolling. Lower class gaming might try and use their bot lane.
Oh, there's an Ash ult on the Nautilus, but he is just going to walk away afterwards.
Diablo lying in wait here on the bottom side. It's a bit early to transfer this into a dragon, but they might be able to bait Luke out here. Luke knows that Pop-Tart's there, but Luke doesn't know about Diablo just yet. Sweeper didn't find him.
And that's a flash in from the Viego, who just cleans up Caitlyn.
Flashing forward to get onto that 80 carry who did not have the flash. Diablo's going to take that kill. But like I said, 30 seconds until the dragon now. It's going to be hard for TFF to turn this into a dragon. Fubuki's just coming off of a recall, and you do have Muddy who will be up and available. It's going to be
Gwen's
another solo kill, man. This Tom Kench is so strong.
Wow. Yeah. The laning power from Tom Kench, the lack of mobility, the lack of flash is not being felt.
So, BTG has package, and that's the big thing that TFF have going for them. Lower class are pretty slow on this play. I don't think they're going to get the dragon.
Both Gwen and Tom have the teleport up, and Batman slingshotting in. He is on his own for the most part, but he gets the Viego. They're running down the bot lane. Batman gets the double kill. Gwen's chasing forward. Batman readying the slingshot. He's going after Corki. Caitlyn nets forward, fires off the Q, and Corki is out.
3 kills picked up off the back end of that for lower class gaming, and I didn't even notice when Batman took the Rift Herald. Probably has that one solo. He's going to use that mid. They're going to take out the 3 first plates, and then the Rift Herald will take the last couple. Breaking this tower from a Corki is really nice here in the early game, and just about 40 seconds before plates go down means a big influx of gold. While giving over the first 2 Drakes certainly doesn't feel good. BCR mid, I think.
We get an Ash ult onto the Syndra, but Corki has no mana, so he's just walking in forward with auto attacks.
There's no one coming to Fubuki's aid. I think he's gonna find a swift. Oh, maybe.
He's heading down towards the bot lane. He's gonna have the protection from Nautilus and Caitlyn. Dodges the Morgana binding. And Viego comes in at the last second to clean it up.
Oh, that's really tragic too, because the stun coming out on the Mudvape means that he has to flash. That never feels good. Trying to help your mid laner out, have to blow your flash for it. Very, very unfortunate. A nice kill back, but still doesn't even up the gold lead. Still about a 1.5 here in favor of lower class gaming. But like
even just that gold lead is a fantastic swing from what it was previously, because when the dragon actually went down, TFF had a gold lead, and the 3 kills and the mid tower swung it by about 3 to 4k.
Yeah, it was a really big swing, and they really needed it. Batman is holding a lot of gold for his team currently, and so far he's been making pretty good use of it. That's a 3-level difference between the top laner and the jungler. However, I don't know if you want that.
Yeah, Tom Kench W's out, and Batman just walks away after using ult and everything.
I think with the Sunfire he thought he did a little bit more damage, but the Tom Kench is equally, if not more tanky at this point in the game. Gonna need to wait until your damage dealers pick up their first mythics. Right now TFF actually have more mythics completed just because so much of the gold from lower class is on their jungler right now. But the 1 item spikes coming out of the Syndra and the Gwen will be absolutely massive. And that's when I'm going to be looking at lower class gaming to take control of the map with that mid lane tower now. Really get a good lead on these dragons, because you don't want to be giving over soul point on an Ocean Rift. That could be just an entire win condition. 4k gold down, it wouldn't matter if TFF has an Ocean Soul.
Sure. There's Tom Kench Wing in onto the Syndra, who stuns him and walks away. Batman's there for support in case she gets any more chase. There's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, I'm very curious how Season 10 Survivor is going to continue playing this Tom Kench as the game rolls out, because I feel like it's not a great team fighter, but at the same time, he's picked it into a team that doesn't have a ton of tank shred, at least not here for a good 4 items or so, till the Caitlyn really gets going. So he might have an easy time in the team fights. But the side lane feels like where he's strongest. As long as he wins the 1v1 against Goragara Simp, he wins the 1v1 against anybody.
He's diving in forward on Syndra, trying to walk her down, but Batman's here for support. Is he going to get there in time? Syndra gets eaten, and the stopwatch saves Syndra's life.
Okay. Had to blow a little bit more there than Fubuki Simp would have liked, but that was the last shutdown remaining on TFF Aftershock. Now that gold lead's going to balloon to about a 2k lead. And it's a nice pick off 30 seconds before the dragon. No TP on Season 10 Survivor. Goragara Simple will be coming up soon. I think those TPs were about synced, so they're going to have those at roughly the same time. BTG, no teleport to his name, but it looks like he's waiting in base to get packaged, as you can see him wiggling there on the mini-map. There he goes, flying out of the base with that Home Guard boosted passive. Straight to the Dragon Pit. Tom Kent's going to walk that way over. Goragara needs to be able to look for a teleport, because I don't think TFF are going to give this one up easily.
Morgana's in totally on her own. First, blows the ult, blows the stopwatch. Ashe is off to the side, gets jumped on. Corky's there. It is very split up, this team fight.
Oh, Diablo!
Syndra gets a double.
Wait, is it a penta?
There are Viego resets happening.
Penta? Did he get it?
Wow, that was a Viego penta.
Diablo! It was the Syndra that was stolen that you saw there coming over the wall. Diablo smurfs the team fight, comes up with a huge pentakill, and puts his team on soul point. Oh man,
Oof.
The junglers are really the highlights for both of these teams here in the opening game.
Yeah, both of them getting pretty much all the gold for the teams. That was confusing to watch, to say the least.
Oh my goodness, keeping track of... It doesn't help you that, like, the portraits change and everything for the Viego, man. The spectator is not caster friendly. But Diablo with the Viego, with the resets, with the possessions, comes up huge with the pentakill, puts his team on soul point. And now they're the ones ahead for about 2,000 gold, a little bit shy of that now, but Soul Point looks like they're going to be grabbing the second reptile before that despawns off the map. And that is the huge swing that TFF Aftershock needed. Now the carries of lower class are really being put in the hole. It's Batman is pretty much the only strong target. Goragara Simp isn't a slack on the one item Gwen, but definitely not as strong as she would like to be.
For sure.
TFF hasn't spent their gold yet, so they are going to have to recall off this Reptile and give that one over, sadly.
Yeah, that's a good pickup by LCG. Taking that away from just abusing the gold spent.
It is a 1.5 gold lead currently, and the gold difference between the junglers is 1.6k. Oh,
Gwen's getting jumped on by 3. That's another one for Viego.
It is now a 2k gold lead between the junglers themselves. Rifto are going to be popping mid lane. They're going to get some gold back. They're going to get a tower for their top laner going down. That's a nice cross map coming out of lower class. They definitely aren't feeling down and out about the game, but their circumstances do look dire here. They're going to be trying to just get as much gold as possible because they must fight for soul here in 3 minutes in the game. You can't trade it for an objective. You can't trade it for Baron. You can't trade it for an inhibitor. That soul is the win condition. The only thing I would say might be better than soul is a Nexus, and honestly, we're in North America. I've seen that trade before.
For sure. I feel like I want to favor LCG with team fights because they have a more traditional team fighting composition, a more well-rounded comp. But TFF has edged it out so far. And
I think I agree with you in the fact that lower class gaming front to back should win a team fight just because their tanks don't have that much mobility. Their front line is not fantastic. Their AD carries take a little while to get off the ground and get the damage out. Something where Fubuki Simp and Goragar should really come out. Goragar, speaking of which, has just been
getting
a punching
dive.
bag.
Oh.
It is... I feel so bad for the man 1-6 not having a great opening game, but we have all been there. Yeah, no, like you said, I think the team fighting does favor lower class. I think it's just a problem when, Fubuki Simp has a Zonya's first item. I mean, I understand you want to stop the Viego from getting the reset. There's a lot of AD on the enemy team, but you are lacking so much damage right now. I'm going to check in on the gold. He's got 500 gold. He needs 600 for his item, and his Doran's ring sells for 160. So if he gets farm and maybe a camp or two funneled into him, he could have a mythic. Or
He gets the stun on the Morgana. She ults, but Zac jumps away. Morgana burned the ignite as well.
a couple summoners going down there. Nothing massive. It's not going to be up for the dragon. Batman's going to have his flash. Coconut's going to have his flash. The ignite of Pop-Tart doesn't matter too much. Luke picks a fight with Diablo, but I don't think that's a fight you want to pick. There might be 3 members around, but that Viego just needs 1 kill to turn that into just another montage play.
Looks like we are coming up on the dragon, so everyone's getting set up with vision, getting ready to fight.
I'm actually gonna check here. Corky package picked up for 60 seconds. He might have it for the dragon fight. Picked it up a little bit early, but it should be fine.
That's going to be close. They might end up having to force early just to make use of that.
Goragar has to blow his flash in the top lane. Not loving to see that. Blue buff gets stolen away. Lower class are going to have to punch their way through this vision line. It is completely dark for them. BTG is wrapping around.
Oh no, the Nautilus and Zac are caught out by the package. Batman is all on his own. Viego's on the backline, as is the Tom Kench, who's got Caitlyn in his stomach. They are just cleaning that up.
It is just a wipe. No one from TFF Aftershock goes down. If Fubuki Simp is the only remaining member for lower class, the dragon is an afterthought. They're going to be pushing into the base while they send Diablo for that one. With the death timers, I don't know if they have enough time to go through Baron. Tom Kench tanks it up, and they do have 280 carries. They might be able to just do a double capture here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for
on the Baron. Oh, Fubuki Simp's going for the dragon because he doesn't know Diablo's already there. Oh no, it feels so
Gwen
bad.
is teleporting into mid, but just
I think they were
going to
try and do the dragon because they didn't know Diablo was on it. I think they thought all 5 members were topside. So Viego gets the dragon. That is soul point. 2k on the Baron. Batman, hero moment. Oh, it's so close. But he doesn't have flash, so goodbye, my friend. It's worth it. You're down a soul. You gotta go for that play. That is not a bad. Oh, Diablo.
Viego flashes over the wall. He is totally on his own.
I feel like his team should try and get him out here. That is a big chunk of change sitting on the Diablo. But he just walks out. All right. He's
They
fine.
do
Probably.
not have
Maybe.
enough vision to see that he's all on his own.
Okay, he's fine.
Wow. So they got the Baron. They got the Ocean
Baron.
Soul.
Yeah, that is usually the nail in the coffin for these games. It is quite difficult to come back from this sort of deficit. I do want to see TFF see if they can pull this out rather cleanly. They got teleport on BTG if they want to go ahead and split there. It looks like he's heading off to the bottom side of the map. Diablo's strong enough, maybe he should consider splitting, so a 1-3-1 or a 4-1 is what I'm looking for here. They're kind of desynced with their recalls. Season 10 just walking onto the map now, while Diablo gets back to base. So really in situations like this, it doesn't feel great if you're lower class gaming. It doesn't feel great looking at a comeback. They're going to try and focus on it, but I like focusing on how cleanly and effectively TFF can close out the game from such an advantage point. And they're setting up their 1-3-1. Season 10 Survivor doesn't have teleport. That is one thing to notice. But Baron buff going through all 3 lanes will be a massive pressure point. They're going to rotate down on the bot side as that's where their wave's currently at. Batman might be in trouble.
Batman's in a world of trouble here. He gets stunned out of the slingshot. He ults to get them off of him, but he is taken down. Gwen is dodging the Ashe ult. Still gets Viego Zac jumped.
Might it be another Penta?
Oh. Viego's got the Nautilus. That's a Quadra. And now he's got the Caitlyn. He's going for it.
The Zonias!
Oh, there's the Zonias.
He wants the double Pentas! No!
And Syndra gets the shutdown. But at what cost? Clean flash from Ashe over the Syndra stun there.
Coconut retaliates for the death of his jungler. No double penta for Diablo this time. But it's going to be at least 2 inhibitors going down. Batman, you just don't do enough damage in the game. Pop-Tart's going to lock you up. Coconut's going to take you down. And BTG's going to run over just to make sure this fight goes their way.
Nautilus gets the ult on Ashe. Misses the hook. Batman really wants it. But he goes down.
It's going to be 1 inhibitor, top 1 soon to fall afterwards. They can go into mid, secure themselves a triple inhib. If they want to, look for an Elder Baron, but this team is strong. It's a 12,000 gold lead. It's just a massive advantage, and we're just waiting for TFF to finish making highlight plays and wrap up the game.
They are going for the third inhib. Syndra finally got her mythic, so she actually hurts again.
Might
Tom
be a little
Kench.
bit too late.
Yeah.
Slightly. Oh, Baron wears out and the clear's gonna come out, so lower class gaming will etch this game out slightly longer, but Diablo's on the map. It's not gonna last too much longer here. It is not been a great game here for lower class gaming, but also wasn't a complete show. I think the Tom Kench top lane might have thrown Goragara for a loop. Didn't really know the capabilities of that champion, probably hasn't played the matchup too many times. Batman, I gotta say, big shout out to him. Went down massively in the early game, found a good way to come back. Muddy and Luke did have a nice lane lead, but just kind of fell around the top side. Diablo got super fed. Mid lane got ahead. Top lane got ahead by themselves. Muddy just has to flash.
Muddy flashes
Diablo.
away.
Oh, it's
Interestingly, going down the gold totals, Muddy on Caitlyn is the only one within 1,000 gold of his lane counterpart. So good job on him just staying in it with the CS. But otherwise, everyone on LCG is down between 1,000 and 2,000 to 3,000. Batman's down 5,000, but that's more on Diablo on that Viego than anything Batman did.
Oh, they're just going for it.
Corki pack is in. There is a Batman jumping around. Corki's got a double. Morgana's ulting and Zonyazing. LCG is walking away as their Nexus turret goes down, and that looks to be the end of game 1.
Yeah, they're going to pad the stats a little bit, try and take some members out in the base, but it's just going to be Batman's passive that goes down in the end. And that's a pretty statement game coming out of TFF for game 1. I think we're going to see the band shaken up. Maybe we'll see the laners play a little bit safer. It felt like we were playing a bit loose, a bit aggressive, not really paying attention to where the jungler could be on either side. And I'd love to see these players just kind of tighten up a little bit, because that felt a little bit sloppy, felt a little bit crazy, and TFF kind of thrived in the chaos there.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, so that's going to be game 1 of our best of 3 series. Don't go away for too long. Grab a little bit of water. I know I am going to, because we will be back for hopefully 2 more games. But TFF Aftershock are going to look to make it just 1.
Headed to the bottom of the bottle, I've been drowning, I've been floating away. Every other dollar that I got in bed, I probably went and it away. I ain't f***ing okay, I ain't liking it, babe. I don't even wanna talk, I'm just smoking my haze. I've been stuck in my ways, I've been stuck here for days. I've been staring at the clock as the radio plays. I'm enslaved. Yeah. Rolling another, I'm stuck in my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million cause that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family, from a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down to make new thoughts, like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame, I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame, I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm a slave for you. Ripping harder, more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is breath in my chest. Till it's diamonds wrapping my neck. Progress to a god from a god. Mass whole place, more tests. More blessed. Dug deep down, trying to find my best. Find a beast, had to kill a conquest. I'm next. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Oh my devil, but I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame, I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame, I'ma never slow down, I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage, it's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you.
We got both of those taken off the board. I'm curious how much TFF want to shake up their draft. It seems like they were pretty comfortable on their champions, which is not what I kind of thought. I guess I know the lower class gaming characters, or the lower class gaming players, a little bit better, but I felt they had pretty big comfort picks. I know BTG is especially comfortable on the Corki, and I think that showed, but the rest of the team with a really nice comfort level. Season 10 Survivor, Tom Kench is up, and Goragar Simp did say in Twitch chat that he had no idea what was going on in lane, so I don't know. That might not get picked away. They might not have the ability to, so they might just let that one go through.
That feels like a little bit of an excuse, because I know he plays Tom Kench.
Okay, all right. Trying to get some heat off his back with the Twitch chat. Fair enough, but gets called out on it. I see how it is. But it's not going to be picked up. The Morgana still having a massive priority. Lower class blue-sided the Ezreal, which did get banned away from Muddy here in game 1. And now I'm curious if Coconut will take the sorry, if yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry, tripping over my words.
We do see the Tom Kench return to the Rift for TFF. Presumably that's going top with the Morgana already picked.
Yeah, most certainly. They if they're going to blue side B, want it and throw it into the support position. I think after watching Diablo on Viego, he doesn't strike me much as the Morgana kind, so big preference to throw that down towards Pop-Tart Lux. And Lulu Nocturnes, the lower class, really swapping it up here. Have Batman pick in the first 3 along with the bot side. Lulu is a champion that is, in my opinion, very underplayed, and that's mostly because people don't like playing her. She's not particularly interesting or fun, but man, is that champion strong right now. Muddy and
She's so fun, though.
She's not fun to play against, and she gets a little bit repetitive, but I think it's very strong nonetheless. Ezreal Lulu, very, very strong weak side of the map. They're going to be playing that into the Caitlyn Morgana, not the Ashe Morgana this time. So, I'm sorry. Did I get that right? I believe I got that.
No, yeah,
So
Caitlyn Morgana.
Nautilus versus, yeah, so we'll have that duo synced up. No jungler for Diablo yet. BTG's Corki going to be banned out. I'm really... It's weird because you want to pick jungle here. Okay, they are going to do it. Oh, Xin Zhao falling. So this is my favorite part about Gold League, is so many bans get thrown towards like what the player is good at, that we get these meta picks that we don't normally get to see at high tier professional play because they're just banned out every single game. Xin Zhao, Tom Kench on the same team is super, super strong front line.
For sure. We got a Galio and a Singed rounding out the LCG draft. That's...
My man literally said, I don't know how to lane against him, so I'm not going to. He's just going to Singed poison the wave, walk away from the Tom Kench, have absolutely no interaction. Gonna have a lot more movement speed to try and dodge out on those W's. And Fubuki Sim gonna blind pick the Galio. That's gonna go into the Zyra of BTG, which is not a mid laner that we see often. I suppose we could see that swap into the mid lane position.
I'm pretty curious if it's going to be a Morgana. Yeah, those two are kind of interchangeable. It's been a while since I've seen a Zyra mid. Usually I'm the one feeding on that pick.
Wait, what am I... Wait, we are in spectator delay in the client, so I can actually check, and BTG does take the Morgana mid, and Pop-Tart Deluxe will be taking Zyra support, so a little bit of a swap up there. That's interesting. So now TFF have shown they have a bit of flexibility with the Morgana, and teams are going to have to take note of that going into the future, but they really like to pry on that. Season 10 Survivor gets his Tom Kench again, another balls deep jungler for Diablo. The draft looks good for TFF. It looks very different for lower class.
Yeah, really similar idea coming out of the TFF draft. Hyper aggressive junglers on both sides. I like Batman taking the Nocturne because he's going to be able to do more with the gold than Zac was.
So lower class gaming kind of work in this way where if the duo of Nocturne, Galio, and maybe Singed in certain circumstances can blow up this Caitlyn, there is very little damage outside of the front line, and Ezreal Lulu is really hard to stick to. So it's one of those things where I'm going to be looking at Batman to get ahead in the early game, because if he does, I feel like that is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. The camel in this, it's being the TFF Aftershock comp, because if Coconut does not die to the initial engage, Diablo and Survivor will run amok on your backside. BTG and Pop-Tart will do so much damage to Batman getting in there. He'll have the Black Shield for the fear. It's a push and pull. I feel like if Batman doesn't get ahead, though, the TFF Aftershock comp does kind of win out naturally.
Yeah, if Batman doesn't get himself a lead, it's gonna be rough. Nocturne doesn't do much from behind.
It's gonna be very, very hard. Does have the lethal tempo. Probably looking for a stride breaker with that to pop this Caitlyn as quick. I almost feel like Halo Blades could have been better in this situation, just because you're not going to stick to a target, right? You're never going to get a fear down because you're always going to have the Morgana Black Shield there, and maybe you need the immediate burst rather than that sustained damage that the lethal tempo provides.
Yeah, he needs to survive precisely as long as it takes Fubuki to Galio R onto him.
So we'll be seeing, maybe the Nocturne even goes for a bit of a tankier build. Probably still sticks with a Stride Breaker, but could look into items like a GA or Sterix here second. Pretty common.
That's usually the build path. Get himself a Sterax. Wow, that word just completely...
I don't know how it could have blanked out of your mind. We see it like 3 times every single game in LCS and LEC. It is far too popular of an item, maybe in need of a little bit of nerfing, but who am I to question the balance of the Riot devs? They do have 200 plus years of experience at this point. Actually, at this point, they've got to be almost near 300. If they were 200 2 years ago, I mean, there's a lot of people over there.
So Batman, it looks like, is going for a full clear, where Xin Zhao takes red and goes immediately onto the Galio. Flashes out.
I remember this
red buff slow.
Oh, Xin Zhao just takes his red, runs into your lane, and you have to blow a flash. That feels bad. Spooky Sip was already going to be playing on the back foot with the Galio pick, however, so nothing new to him, just has to be extra safety. And Diablo making a good early game impact. That's going to be a nice knock-up.
Kench hits 2 first and flexes on him.
Survivor's looking so good on this Kench. I really like to see people picking up new champions quickly, and looks like he's put the games in on it. Has gone for the Ignite teleport again, so this man not going to be backing down from any fights, going to be standing his ground.
Yeah, he didn't get punished for the lack of flash last game, so no reason to change this time.
Absolutely not. Coconut and Pop-Tart going to be looking to be aggressive here on the bottom lane. For the time being, it seems that Diablo has himself set up 3 pushing lanes. Scuttle Crabs have both spawned, but he's quite a ways away from that top scuttle. Don't know if the laners will be able to keep Batman off that one or not. Fubuki walking forward. Needed to throw out a Winds of War before he taunted there. The Black Shield's going to last much longer than your taunt duration, so a little bit of a flub on that one as junglers go ahead and trade Scuttle Crabs. Batman up in farm as he's gone for the classic full clear. Probably doesn't look onto top. I feel like the level 4 Nocturne and a Singe do not have the damage to kill this Tahm Kench. And if he's got a wave built up with Ignite, that could be a nightmare. Actually, the wave's pushing into Survivor as well, so he is pretty ungankable.
Yeah, he is down.
Fubuki's not ungankable.
Oh.
Flash forward. BTG.
Galio has no flash.
Doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, Singe dipped out of vision and Nocturne was in the area. So everyone just walks away from that mid gank.
Yeah, Simp does have the Aftershock there, so if he's able to buy enough time, reinforcements would come in quicker for lower class gaming, and TFF decide not to commit too hard to that play. Diablo's going to be grabbing his topside camps as Batman cycles his first set of camps. So early lead over to Batman this time.
Tom Kench.
That was close.
Yeah, Singe dodges right out of it and flips Tom Kench back.
There's a lot of minions here, Survivor.
And a lot of poison. Getting
He's
low,
so
but
low.
Xin Zhao is there. They're trying to bait the Singed in here. Is it gonna work? Ooh. Clean getaway from Violet Rain. I like it.
Nice. Pulls that one out. Has his nice little CS lead.
Oh,
Batman.
Nocturne's yanking bot. And that's a heal out of Zyra. Caitlyn's getting run down. Flashes out. Batman flashes in. Very nicely done.
This is a huge start for lower class gaming. A nice 2 early kills go over. Batman gets 1. Takes a quick second to auto attack the Zyra there to get the assist on the second one as well. I like that a lot. Making sure you get as much bang for your buck as possible. Still not letting the Caitlyn get away. Having that speed up on the path was really huge for catching up.
Yeah, and the gold went exactly where they wanted it. Ezreal getting 1, Batman getting 1. They couldn't have asked for that to go better.
It's absolutely huge. And while Diablo has been spending his time mid lane, Galio is a bit of a tough nut to crack. Batman here should just cycle his top camps once more and then look for a recall. Nocturne with the Ionian boots on the first back. Walks around very, very quickly. He's actually going to recall here. I don't like this recall whatsoever, if I'm going to be very honest, because he's either going to go bot and wait for his red buff to spawn, and then, like, he doesn't get 6 off his red buff, so he's just...
That's... Yeah. He's getting low.
Dead.
Yep. Flash is in.
No flash on the Galio gets punished.
Yeah, Tom Kench gets a little bit too close to the tower and gets flipped in. The classic Singed play.
Very nice out of Gorgar Simp there. Feeling good about the second time laying around into the TK. Feeling much better, going much better for him around there. But yeah, Batman gonna be on the bot side. He grabs his wolves and then moves over to the bottom side of the map. It is just inefficient, sadly, and Diablo gonna be able to pick up this dragon. Ooh, really close glitter lens steal, but Luke doesn't pick up that one. I gotta say, actually, I will shout out anyone who can play Nautilus one game and Lulu the next. That's a nice support pull differential. Although I do want to point out, I should have pointed out earlier, he went Spell Thieves here, and I don't know if I would go Spell Thieves here, because that means you want to trade, and if you're trading with Zyra Caitlyn as Ezreal Lulu, you're usually losing that trade and you're putting yourself very at risk. So I would have went the more defensive Relic Shield option. He is at 271 in his quest progress, and Pop-Tart Deluxe is a few gold shy of 400, so you can definitely see the difference there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's just difference in how the lanes want to play it.
Ezreal comes down, clips mostly the wave, probably looking for a bit of a recall. Actually, he just came off a recall. I don't know why he halted. Maybe he was just looking for poke. He's not going to be using it on anything anytime soon. 4 minutes on the dragon as the first one went over to TFF.
Batman's hanging around this bot lane, looking to make something happen now that he's hit 6. But Caitlyn and Zyra are under tower and plenty safe.
Oh. The back step. Oh, Gorgar wanted to get the fling, but it didn't work. That was so funny. He kept trying to backstep just to get the very edge of the range on the fling, but was just short every time and stutter stepped like 3 times, and then he just got Tom Kench ulted. Oh, I found that way too hilarious. I'm sorry. Oh, but it's a much better early game start here for lower class gaming. There's 3 kills up to 1. About dead even on gold, and that's mostly coming out of the CS for the mid and bot laner, so good on TFF Aftershock to be holding in there, and they got a dragon to themselves. So while the early game is a lot closer, there is a current kill lead for lower class. Batman.
Oh, Batman's got a level disadvantage, and he dives in on the Caitlyn. Manages to get the kill. Super well done there.
Yeah, 2 assists going over to TFF make that more worthwhile, but considering his situation, the fact that he gets a trade kill back is not too bad. Looks like the kill did go on to the Xin Zhao, so Diablo happily picking up more of those kills. Gorigara having a better time dodging out on those Ws, but Season 10 Survivor wants this. I don't know, rule number 1 in League of Legends is don't chase Singed.
Yeah, he's taking a lot of minion damage and gets flipped back. There is a fight in bot lane. Xin Zhao's trying to run down the Ezreal Lulu, which is a tall ask.
I actually want to check real quick here on Season 10 Survivor rune setup. Hey, went Triumph Coup de Grace in his secondary. And I'm curious in more slippery matches if it would be worth going Inspiration to grab that approach velocity to stick to your target a little bit better. But I am most certainly not a Tahm Kench expert, so maybe not.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds like a good adaptation to make. Oh, Lulu gets snared, gets ignited. The Caitlyn ult gets blocked by Ezreal.
Good block out of Luke there, but that's what I'm talking about. Every time Lulu has to step up to the wave, she's going to get traded back on, and Pop Dart Deluxe happily taking the better end of that trade, as well as Coconut checking in. Looks like they've got 2.5 plates, and if they decide to stay on this wave, they should be able to grab the second. So this Caitlyn is being a bit more accelerated than last time. We got a TP up top side. We might be fighting over this Rift Herald. It's lower
Batman
class.
taking kind of a cheeky Herald while they know exactly where Xin Zhao is. He was clearing a control ward, and he might be too late to do anything about it. Yeah. Nice, calm, collected play from Batman there, not flinching.
Very, very nice coming out of him. Looking to see the first items start to come through here. Nothing striking me too well. We're probably going to see a Proto Belt mid lane. Curious what BTG goes for here. You can make a case for almost any of the mythics. I would probably like to see an Everfrost or a Leandry's more than the Ludens. I'm kind of leaning Everfrost, personally, just because I feel like BTG's job is to have Coconut not die to Malzahar and Singed running at him.
Yeah, exactly. The safety from the Everfrost and the control from the Everfrost is super important. But I could see the Leandries just because of how tanky the Singed, the Galio are gonna be.
Ulti combo?
Nocturne ult coming in. Nice black shield on the Xin Zhao. Tahm Kench dives in.
They're waiting for Violet Rain. They didn't wait long enough.
Luki Simp is caught in the middle. Now LCG is split up. Batman goes back. So it looks like they're giving up the dragon.
Yeah, looks like they wanted to combo Paranoia BTG.
That was a flash in from the Morgana, and Singed gets caught out and burned down.
So it looks like lower class wanted to combo the Paranoia and the Heroic's entrance, but they couldn't find the entryway onto the bot line, and they were outnumbered in the river because Season 10 Survivor had the top push and made his way down river before Gorigara Sim did. So you can see the plan that lower class wanted to go for, and I think it's still a plan that could work if they're able to execute on it, but it didn't happen that time. And it means that, again, 2 early drags go over to TFF Aftershock. They've been on top of this objective the entire series. However, they don't get rewarded with a big, beautiful dragon. It's just going to be a cloud drag, which, I'm going to be very honest, kind of sucks for their team.
Yeah, Cloud Soul is pretty underwhelming.
I mean,
most
Morgana
games.
loves it, but the rest.
Yeah, no one else is making super good use of it.
Unfortunate there they don't get rewarded with an Infernal Soul, but it is what it is. It is still stats. Ooh, flash shadow Pop-Tart in the bot lane. Whoa!
Galio's getting run down. Nocturne ulti is in bot. Coconut gets run down. There's the Galio ult and the Lulu ult onto Nocturne trying to save Private Batman. Morgana's on her own. Ulting. Takes out the Ezreal. Xin Zhao gets a double.
Alright, so lower class able to pick up Coconut. Oh, they're not done. They're diving.
Oh, they are diving the Singed, but
he's going for it.
Know about that. Oh, yeah. He's running.
He almost has ulti up. I don't know what's happening.
This is like a
either gets a
sixth-grade
penta or
dance.
looks like a fool.
They're all just kind of staring at each other. Tom Kench gets the ult, walks him back.
He looked like a fool.
Oh.
Oh, you could see the play in Gurgar Sim's mind. Maybe if he has a blasting wand or some AP there, that goes a little bit differently. But he just gets made fun of. Tom Kench tells him to sit down, has the follow-up CC coming out of the Morgana and the Zyra coming out of that ultimate. And Singe does not get to run when he has to stand in place, sadly. And that is going to be a 5-for-1 at the end of the day. Coconut went down, but they just committed way too much to it. And lower class get punished on the retreat. Teleport came out of Guragara, but not out of Survivor. And it was actually BTG who I think made that play really successful for TFF. The teleport came out nearly the same time. Luke might be in a bit of trouble.
Lulu's getting run down.
She has flash. She should be fine here.
She ults herself, but there's a lot of lockdown from TFF here. She flashes out and she is safe.
Easy does it for Lulu. Season 10 Survivor. He has looked for these 1v1s all game, Fubuki. I don't think he's going to stop with you. Alright,
He
I lied.
gets the stun.
No knowledge of where Batman was until he just showed himself on Wards just now. So, I like Season 10 Survivor showing restraint there. I just didn't expect it.
So once again, we're seeing both the junglers with the gold leads for their teams. Xin Zhao and Nocturne, both good places to have gold. And they're both the top gold totals on their teams.
Yep, that is honestly seems to be just kind of how these teams play. Their jungler is the focus of their action here in the early game, and while the very start of it looked very Batman favored, Diablo found some picks in the mid lane, found some help in the top lane, and he's been helping out his solo lanes while Batman's been focusing on the bot lane. And that's kind of just an interesting clash of styles where Batman tries to help out his lanes that are losing, tries to get ahead himself while doing it, and he did that very successfully here. Ezreal Lulu made it out of the lane. They're about to hit their mythic item on the support, and they will be equal or not a little bit ahead in raw power level to their components, and Batman's gotten a little bit ahead. The flip side of this is Diablo has played through his pushing lanes and his strong lanes, and this has just allowed him to get a bit more experience than Batman through getting more lane farm, as he's just takes a bit more taxation than Batman does, I've noticed. That's a big chunk on the Luke. Right before the dragon. That does not feel good. There's no mythic on the Lulu, actually. You just can't fight this. This is just not a good fight. You are down 2 mythics. This is Cloud Soul Point. Just don't give up any more gold. I don't want to see Batman going for an alt steal. This is just trade for Herald. Maybe get mid tower. Like
Singe is running in with ult.
Get it, man.
Galley ult's on top of the Singe. Nocturne's on the backside. Nocturne goes down. Caitlyn's low. She's ulting Galio. It's 2-0. Ezreal's still poking, but that's not a great fight for LCG. 3-0.
Luke got poked out at the beginning of that. Doesn't have the mythic to help his team out. Fubuki doesn't have that kind of utility from his mythic as well. Diablo's looking for it.
There's the Xin Zhao dive in. Lulu ults herself. That's a tough runaway. Tom dives in and Xin Zhao cleans it up.
The front line is just way too far ahead for TFF Aftershock. You can't crack the nut, and Batman and Fubuki aren't strong enough to kill the backline by themselves. Every single backliner has just gone for full DPS, which means it's kind of a situation where if they were behind, it would be really bad, but because they're ahead, they just kill Nocturne before he can kill them, and that's a really rough spot to be in when you're Batman.
Yep.
Oh, lower class gonna be trying to look for a way back into this game, and if we think about it, there's not a lot of good options. If I was lower class gaming right now, I would say you probably want to try and knock down outer towers. That's a lot of standing gold, especially that one in the mid lane. Maybe even trade soul for some topside pressure, because getting a Cloud Dragon right now just doesn't feel good for you, and you're going to have to commit so much to the fight, and if you lose the fight, you're probably going to lose more because your waves will be in a bad spot because of how behind you are. So I say get as much gold as possible and maybe flip an Elder Dragon, because that is the level of desperation we're at currently, at a 7k gold deficit. 6k, closer to 6k I should say. But
yeah, 20 minutes, that rough. Feels real bad. Galio goes for another taunt. Morgana gets dove on by the Nocturne ult. She ults for safety. Batman runs out of it. He's trying. Morgana doesn't have a lot to get out here, but she gets Tom Kench ulted for safety while Pop-Tart takes out Batman.
They just have so little damage. The Morgana buys so much time, whether you're going on Caitlyn or BTG. The Spell Shield blocks the taunt, the Zhonya's blocks the initial burst, the Roots come out onto both members, and she's just able to walk far enough away for Season 10 Survivor to go ahead and get her out with that Tom Kench ultimate. I must say, I wasn't feeling great about the Tom Kench changes, but I really like the Devour being an ultimate. It makes it feel much more impactful, choosing whether to ult an ally or an enemy. Diablo in Season 10 can honestly fight this, by the way. They are massively ahead of these three members.
Yeah,
they want it.
Oh, Season 10 dives in, gets a knock up on Singed. Oh, and the entirety of LCG is there. It is a 5-on-5. They're staring down. Ooh.
Yeah, lower class don't like the barrel of the gun. They're staring down very much right now. They're just trying to dissuade TFF from going for the Baron. They want to keep these inner towers up. This inner ring of towers will kind of work as a very big defensive tool, especially when you're on blue side. These the top three, or I guess the top 4 towers, 2 inhibs and the 2 inners, act as just such good defensive tools. You can always check the Baron when you have these towers up, much safer than when they're down. So you want to keep this kind of centralized ring. It's fine to let this top tower die. That one doesn't help them whatsoever at this point in the map. But Rift Herald has been summoned. So now we're going to see if lower class mount a defense on this inner tower. Because wherever Diablo and Season 10 go, fights are likely to follow. 3 members in the mid trying to split it up. They're spotted.
Oh. Nocturne and Singed are fighting that. Xin Zhao gets thrown back. Nocturne ults in. Galio ults in. And they just walk away. So the Rift Herald got a charge on the inner turret. But that's pretty much all.
I think it's... lower class have done a decent job of hanging on right now. They're not 100% out, but it doesn't feel great. I just want them to cross map. Last time it was 3rd Dragon. They were down 2 Mythics. They shouldn't have fought then. I don't want them to fight for this dragon, even though it's Soul. They're just not in a position. If they commit to a fight, they will lose. You either try and cross map, which is very risky because the Baron is much harder to take than the dragon, or potentially you just send Batman in for a one-man steal mission. Those are the 2 options. I don't want to see lower class commit to a full 5-on-5.
Yeah, with them having just used the Galio ult, the Nocturne ult in that fight in top lane, they don't have a lot of resources to go after this dragon, and it looks like they're not going to try.
No, and this call is way too late. You saw the ping come out onto the map. You can see the jungle and support moving up to clear the vision line, but by the time they make it to the river, the soul will have already fallen, and it's too late to start the Baron buff. But Batman and Gora... Okay, they were walking towards it like they were going to, and that scared the living heck out of me. Batman might be found out here. He's fast
Nice
enough.
dodge on the tongue lash.
Oh,
Gets Batman out of there.
He's
Lulu's in a rough spot. Tom Kench gets the double knock up there.
Oh, Diablo.
Oh, Coconut takes out Eastside Luke. Pop-Tart finishes off Batman. Muddy gets rooted and finished off.
Easy kills for TFF Aftershock, and the game was looking bad to worse. There were comeback potentials for lower class gaming, but I just don't think they're there anymore. We've gotten to a 10k gold lead. We're going to start seeing inhibitors going down. Members are up in 5-10 seconds for the majority, but it's just not going to matter. This is going to be inhibitor. At the very least, TFF Aftershock could just base after this, spend all of the gold they have in their pockets, and go for a Baron buff to clean out this game.
Yeah, Caitlyn's sitting on almost 2,600 gold. That's going to be a significant buy. It looks like they're not even going to buy. They're just going to go straight to the Baron.
So, yeah, the reason that TFF feel like they need to do this is because they haven't spent their gold, but if they go back right now, it might open up an opportunity for lower class to take the Baron for themselves. What I would do here is probably send 2 or 3 members back first, and then send the other 2. It's called staggering your recalls. That way you can get your gold spent and still take the objective, but this is going to get the lives.
Caught again. Boltsy ults in, but he's all alone in the middle of the team. Batman's hovering around the outside, but there is not a lot he can do there.
It is a rough time, and Gurgar Simp just trying to trim the wave mid lane so they can't end the game, but I think TFF Aftershock will just take Baron and push down another lane, because the Singe can't stop 2 pushes at once, sadly, and this game's pretty over.
Yeah, this is looking like a rough one. 5 towers to 0, 4 dragons to 0. This is going to be the Baron.
Batman's gonna try.
Oh,
And he tried. It does. They're all damage and no tankiness yet. Their first items were all damage outside of that chem pack up in the top lane, and they just haven't built any resistances. They don't have Asterix, they don't have Azonias, they have nothing to help them from getting absolutely bursted out. And the massive defense tools coming out, just the Morgana, the Zyra zone control, the Xin Zhao, the Tom. There's so much actually just screw you on the side of TFF Aftershock is the best way I can put it.
yeah. There's no one on the map that can 1v1 this Tom Kench. Xin Zhao is gigantic. Morgana just walks away from everything.
Do you think anyone on lower class can 1v1 anyone from TFF Aftershock right now? Be honest. Because I don't think there is.
I believe in Muddy.
Zyra.
At the end of the day, I will always believe in Muddy, but the score line says otherwise.
It's a bit rough here for lower class gaming. They've been shut out 2 games in a row now. And it's just a set of formalities before TFF finish off this game. They're going to find at least a fight here.
Kench dives in. That's a good taunt to almost save Lulu. Batman gets taken down. Ezreal's poking on the outside, but he gets snared and killed. Looks like that's all she wrote.
It's a signed, sealed letter, just needs to be delivered to the address that is the blue team's base. Nexus going to be crumbling very soon as they pad the DPM, they pad the stats. Coconut's going to have to flash away from Guragara, but it is just a formality here. Pookie Simp going to go down. Guragara looks like he got out for the time being and will save his KDA at 1 and 5 rather than 1 and 6. And lower class gaming are going to fall down 0-2 to TFF Aftershock. I got the bug, so I didn't get to see the Nexus explode. Sad days, but it most certainly did, and it most certainly signaled a 2-0 for TFF.
For sure. My screen is actually frozen on an exploding Nexus, which looks kind of cool.
Oh, okay, all right. We got a little bit of stats there. And like you said, Money didn't have too bad of a game. I think that's a bright spot you can look at for this lower class roster. He topped the damage chart, which it's Ezreal. He's going to top the damage chart, but still nonetheless impressive in a game like that. I think the Tom Kench pick is something you most certainly need to at least prepare for if you're a team that has to face up against TFF here in the coming weeks. And Diablo's a jungler that people are going to be worried about. That is an 8-0-11 performance on the Xin Zhao. It's a almost double pentakills in the Viego game. This guy plays the meta champions. He plays them well, and they are very oppressive when they get ahead.
Yeah, it looks like some kind of solution other than bans are going to have to be the answer for Diablos, because he got 3 banned in the second game, and he's still got an S tier jungler. And looked like a monster
we haven't
the whole
even
time.
seen the man's Kayn. The Kayn
Yeah.
got just perma'd the entire time. Oh, maybe we get a treat and see that later on, but not this game. They didn't need it to pull out the 2-0, though. It looked pretty rough around the lanes. I gotta say, I think Batman and Muddy are probably the bright spots from that. I think Gurugara had a, uncharacteristically bad night. I don't think he's that bad of a top laner. He got surprised by the Tom Kench pick. For the record, I do not know this with any certainty, but I would bet a fair amount of money that he said, look, if we can't spare the ban, I'll deal with it my way, and we'll get through the game one way or the other. And that takes a lot to say as a laner, saying, like, I can't beat this pick, but I'm not going to waste a ban on it. We can figure out a different way around it. So trying to help his team in that form, I think that's good signs here for lower class, but they're off to a rocky start here in week 1.
Yeah, I think the score lines don't tell the full story with either Gurugar Simp or Fubuki Simp. I think they're both good players. They play in super comfort picks, but they just came up short tonight.
Very unfortunate for the duo, but it is how the cookie's going to crumble here for week 1. We got an absolutely smashing performance out of TFF Aftershock, who claimed the 2-0 victory over lower class gaming. Good signs of life for lower class. However, they're going to have to prove it in the coming weeks. But that's going to be all from us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you tune in next week.
Bye-bye.